If you've ever had one of those days when you know you should accomplish something, you have the time to accomplish something, you don't feel like accomplishing anything, and you look around and you see lots of things that you could do, and you don't feel like doing any of it, well, believe me, today I can relate to that. So we're in the same boat if you've ever been there. So today, I'm going to kind of just do an overview. Normally, I do my episodes to try to keep you in mind and to encourage you on what you're doing. Today, I just need to encourage myself. So if you want to come along for that ride, we're going to talk about the status of a few projects, where we're at, where we're going, what's going to be happening here in the shop. It's a shop update video. Around this channel, it's always about spending the day here in the shop. And, well, today, let's just do some bench racing. I'm Mike, and you are watching My Car Shop. I was really thinking about getting in here and fixing some of the parts on the fender wells that need to be fixed under the fender. There's a chunk about this big we need to cut out and fabricate. Not up to it today. Been looking at the 39 with a bunch of stuff, and I'll show you that there. I've done since the last episode on that, which was probably the last episode. Not feeling that today either. I was looking at the Forsyth. I know what I've got to do on that, so that's fine. The cab, I thought about doing some dent removal on that today. I was even thinking about doing some dent removal on this fender. I think I just need to take stock, appreciate where I've been, and solidify my plan on where I'm going. We're not only turning, we have turned a huge corner here in the shop, getting the Stitches Challenger off the rotisserie. So I suppose in some ways I'm still in the afterglow of that. It's cold and snowing today, so there's that. I did work this morning, even though it's Sunday. A little different thing than I normally do. Some of you know what that's about. So I'm feeling a little tired too. So I think it's important to talk through the parking lot game that I'm going to be playing here and my rationale behind that. As you've heard me mention, the Oakland is down. It's nothing serious, but the generator bit the dust. We determined that the armature is shot. We need to send the armature out to get it rewound. We've tried to find an armature for it to no avail. So I've got a place in Virginia lined up to do that job. I've got to get down to my electric guy and have him, we're just going to put it, it's all apart. We're going to put it in a tote. I'm going to ship the armature off to the place in Virginia. It's going to take them 2 to 3 months to get it done. So this car is not going to be back together till spring. So it really needs to just go back over here out of the way so that it just can sit there until we get what we need. The duster needs to be moved out and become a higher priority project. So our priorities are 3 right now. Stitches, obviously, we're going to keep hammering on that. That car's not far from actually running and driving. The 39, Becky wants done by her birthday next October. I've been hammering on that. You see where I'm at with the chassis on that one. We got cab work to do, and I'll give you some updates on that in a minute. But I really want to get this car moving forward. We have purchased floor pans for it. We've purchased the torsion bar cross member. And I really want to get the inner rocker panel done, which we couldn't buy because it wasn't available, so that I can get that made. I've got the material for that. And then we can get the torsion bar cross member in. It's not a big job. I just got to get it done. I haven't been real comfortable with welding on this car right here. It's kind of claustrophobic back in this area, and I would like to get it out front and center. What does getting it out front and center mean? It means that it will go here, where the 39 cab and the Challenger is. It's going to be immovable for a while I'm working on some things, but for the most part, it will be portable. But I want to get it out here. It's better lighted. It feels more open, but there's also less danger of sparks causing fire out here because I weld out here all the time. I don't weld back there. There's a lot of flammable stuff in the paint shop there, boxes of stuff that are stored. My guts have just told me it's not smart to do that back there. So we're going to get it back out here. The Challenger is going to go straight forward. This car easily will roll in and out of the shop. The other thing I like about that is if I want to bring the 47 in to do some work, like I have another door panel to make for that car, if I want to move forward on the interior, or I want to work on getting some of the other upholstery done in that interior, I have a nice big open space here to be able to do that. My other thing is if I want to take this car to the other garage and put the 69 Charger in here to do some work on that, which I want to do really bad, I'll be able to do that pretty easily as well. So I like the idea. I would rather have a running car here, but I don't have any running projects in the shop right now. I'm not ready to put the motor in this yet, but maybe by spring the motor will be in it and we'll be able to drive it out. Who knows? But that really gives me some flexibility. The Duster is a little bit shorter than this car, not a lot, but a little. And once we get a few more things done on that car, structurally, we'll be stripping the doors and the fenders and some of that stuff off of that car. I've got a game plan worked out on that. We're going to dedicate an episode to the Duster once I start working on it, and we'll talk about the bigger picture game plan on that car. So you're getting the idea that Oakland here, Duster there, Challenger there, which leaves a nice big open space here for two things. The 39 cab can be in here so that I don't have a lot of fabricating to do on that. There's definitely some, but that's on wheels. So we may need to lower it down a little bit to get it in here, but the cart that it's on, we can drop it down a good 18 to 20 inches, so that's no problem. We would just need to lift the cab up and do the adjustments, which we may do. But that also leaves me a nice big open space to do half of a frame table. I don't want to do the full frame table yet. I don't want to do what I'm going to need to do to build the Golden Mullet, but to build the 39, half a frame table, because I'm building a half a frame at a time, is going to work. I also have some nice casters. Normally a frame table needs to sit square on the floor, which we're going to do, but I'm thinking about building the frame table in such a way that it has legs that go up and down. And so you roll it into position, and then you lock it down and level it out square perfectly, and then you have a perfectly flat surface to work on. And then if you need to move it, which very likely it would easily be, and roll it out. I like that idea because this shop, things need to be fluid. That way, if we wanted to roll the frame table over here to work on it, we could level it up in that spot and do it, and we're not going to lose the squareness and all that stuff. So that's kind of my plan. The frame table is going to be pretty simple. And as I think about it, even the way I'm going to do the Golden Mullet, maybe half a frame table is better than a full frame table at this point. I got to think about that. We may do a frame table in two pieces that join together. I don't know. That's a ways down the road anyway, but the 39, the way I have the frame designed on that, it can be done front half, back half, and then bring them together later. So that's the way we're going to do that. But I really like that idea because as I come in the shop, it'll be chassis table first thing here, and then the cab in the Oakland, so it almost tiers up. It makes the shop feel a lot more open. And then, of course, whatever cars we have in the center here. So that's going to be pretty cool. Where I'm at right now on this, we have the two 8-foot quarter wall 2x3 box tubes, which are going to be plenty strong for a light duty vehicle like this. Hot rod stuff, common standard practice. If you watch the last episode, we have the Duster K-frame, the Valiant K-frame, all ready to go in there. We know we're going to be making a custom engine mount with engine setback 16 inches. I did find the right drag link and tie rod assembly for the Valiant, because it's a 76. It's different than most of the other A bodies. I found everything I needed for that. So we're in good shape. I've been gathering more and more pieces. I found the torsion bars. I found exhaust manifolds. I found basically a new exhaust system out of my scrap pile. It was hardly ever on the car being used. It's still in great shape because it was buried under stuff so it didn't rust. So I've just been slowly gathering parts. But here's where I'm at with this. I still need time to cogitate a little bit. So I have a lawnmower I need to get in here in a couple days to get fixed. Hopefully I can get the lawn mowed one more time, even though it's snowing now. It's supposed to be nice later in the week, next week. So I'm going to need to tear all this down and move it, and I know that. But I want to have it here for reference, so that if I think of something else that I hadn't thought of before I come out and I can get my tape measure, I can check something. I know there was something I thought of yesterday, and I need to check. I don't remember what it was right now, but it'll come back to me. Because once I tear it down, it's going to be a bit before I get it set up over there. I'll probably have the chassis table at a little bit of an angle in here, and then the cab will be up in that area. You'll notice that, maybe you didn't notice, but I moved the oven and the sandblaster over there against the wall. That's where this cabinet was. I've got to find a home for this cabinet, and I have two really nice stainless steel cabinets that Chris brought me. Not sure where I'm going to put those yet. I may take that whiteboard down, put them there. Probably not. I don't know. I got to think about that, but I got to get a car in the back room here soon. I'm going to put scoops back in there. I was going to put one under the tent. Not sure. I may put Sassy under the tent. We'll see what happens. I got to make a decision if I'm going to keep Scoops on the road through the winter or not. If I take it off the road, then I'm going to put Sassy under the tent. So if for some reason the tent gets storm damage and Sassy gets hit, it's not the end of the world. If Scoops was out there, I would be really upset. So we'll put Scoops inside. I was going to put the white Mini inside, but I decided to just put that on hold until spring. I'm just trying to do too many things at once. Can you relate to that? In a lot of ways, I feel like what Jed Clampett said about Jethro when it comes to thinking. You got to give the boy time. He's not good at it. You got to give me time. I'm not good at it. Some people criticize me for trying to do too many projects, and I should just focus on one thing. It's not the way I work. If you've been around the channel for any length of time, and we've been here for almost 6 years now, upwards of 1,000 videos, you'll see that I am the kind of person that has to have a lot of irons in the fire, and I like going from thing to thing. And the reason for that is because of the way my brain works. I'll work on something, and then I need some space from it so I can kind of let my subconscious mind work on it for a while I'm doing something else. And while I'm doing something else, I'm thinking about this. And while I'm doing this, I'm thinking about that. And then I can be thinking about that. And that's kind of the way my mind works. So some people might call that ADD, but not really. I don't lack attention. It's just that, like having that 39 chassis there, the way my brain works, I need time now that I've gotten to that point. I'm not ready to dive in and start building that yet. I need time to process and digest and think through all of the stuff that I might be overlooking that could potentially be showstoppers. At this point, I don't think there's any showstoppers, but it gives me time to do that. So in the meantime, then, on the next nice day that I have time, duster outside, or stitches outside, 39 cab, probably actually after the duster will push the Oakland outside, or Challenger goes out, Oakland will go out, 39 cab will go where the Oakland is, duster will get hauled out and moved, then Oakland will be brought back in and put into position, and then we will move 39 cab and 39 chassis into place. So it's like playing parking lot. I think that's the best plan, and that's actually the first time I've verbalized it. I've been thinking about this for a while, but it's the first time I finally have an actual move plan that seems to make some sense. See my oven and sandblaster? I love it there. Like all of you, this is not my life. I'm not a full-time YouTuber. I don't do this stuff full-time. I get usually after work on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If I'm really lucky, I might squeak out a couple hours during the week. But what you see here is generally done after work on Friday. Say 3 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe I'll get out here and get something done. And then Saturday and Sunday, I'm just hammering on. I still have all my other responsibilities in life. I still have yard work to do and house things I need to get done. And I do most of the cooking. Becky does the cooking on the weekends so I can work out here and film and edit. But that's when I get that less than 2.5 days to focus on projects in YouTube. That's it. And I try to maximize that time. So while I'm doing a lot of other things during the week, I'm really thinking things through and planning and plotting and researching and doing all of that stuff. I'm not much different than you, except maybe a little sadistic in the amount of things I tackle. It was really driven home to me within the last month or so. What I'm doing here isn't a show. This is a real world shop. It's a DIY, mostly a one-man operation, although there are people that do things behind the scenes, like my buddy Mark and my buddy Chris that you've seen on the show. My buddy Matt has been here, sometimes not on the show, but he's been here to help me with certain things. Becky is always behind the scenes. But when it comes to doing most of the work on the projects, that's me. And it's a lot, but I wouldn't have it any other way, because in many ways it's the only thing that keeps me sane. I'm living a dream come true in many ways, having this many cars, this kind of a shop space. I never dreamed I'd have a full machine shop. Thank you so much to the generosity of my nephew for loaning me his machines for as long as I want them, basically. He has no need to have them back at any time he wasn't using them, and he comes over here and we work on stuff together. And he said that the other night he was here. We were doing a project for one of his things on the farm, and he said, I actually like coming over here and doing the work and getting to hang out with you some. So it's a winner, but there's just so many blessings and so many moving pieces that come together like that I just never dreamed would happen. So the channel is just my way of inviting you in the door and sharing my world with you. But I really want what I do to encourage you, to motivate you, to help you think differently. It's easy to get discouraged and think, there's no way I can afford to do this. The moment you think that, you won't afford to do it, and it doesn't have to cost money. I am trying to build this truck for, almost nothing, using junk that I've had kicking around forever. Got a motor that I've had forever. I've got a transmission I've had forever. I've had this 76 Valiant front suspension for 20 years, just kicking around. Yes, we purchased the steel tubing for the frame for the Golden Mullet three years ago, probably 2 or 3 years ago. It wasn't a lot of money because it came out of a remnant bin. So I don't even know what it cost at this point. But the point is, we're trying to do all of this stuff and spend almost no money. And, we've done the same thing with stitches because we've hand fabricated everything. I really want to present the idea to you that if you've been told doing this hobby or this obsession or whatever you want to call it is unreachable because it costs so much, it doesn't have to. If you believe it costs too much, then it does. If you're willing to put in the time and do the sweat equity and learn some skill, you can do it. All right, I'm getting out of the pulpit on that one, but I can't emphasize that enough. That's what this channel is about. Come here, hang out, learn different ways to think, be exposed to things you've maybe never seen before or didn't know were possible. My buddy Ray was here yesterday. He's doing a little project for me on the side for the 39. And he was talking about friends of his who he's talked about what I do here. And they're like, really? You can do that? You don't have to buy everything? That's my audience right there. That's what I'm looking for, is people to give them that idea that, hey, if you're willing to put in the work, you can do it. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. All right, that's the plan for My Car's shop for the next little while. I do want to get the curly shuffle done here as soon as possible. It won't be today. Like I said, the weather's crap. But I'm excited for the next phase in the shop. And seeing where Stitches is by spring is exciting. We've got really exciting things to do, like putting a quarter window in on one side and taking one out on the other side so we can hang a quarter panel over there. We got this fender well to do. We've got a cowl to take off to fix holes in the inner cowl and put back on. We've got some windshield repair and back glass frame repair that we've got half done because Matt was here to help me with that. I want to get him back out to help more with that. So yeah, lots going on. Thanks for just sitting down with me today. I wished I had a cup of coffee, but I don't. Thanks for just sitting down and hanging out today in the shop here and helping me formulate by talking it out with you about where we're going next. Drop your comments down there if you have thoughts, if you have suggestions. I do want to thank channel viewer John Glaive for sending me, I don't have it out here right now, it's in the house, sending me some lubricant for the machine shop. It's lube I used to use. It's a green stuff. I'll share that with you at some point. Thanks, John, for your generosity. I always really appreciate that when you send me stuff. Thanks to all the supporters of the channel, both the channel members who monthly contribute to supporting the channel, as well as those who send me stuff, like Kurt for sending me the front end parts on this car. My gratitude is immeasurable for that, because this thing wouldn't be sitting on its wheels today if it wasn't for the generosity of viewers like you. I sound like PBS. All right, that's going to do it. We'll catch you on the next one, and don't forget, rock!